Hello guys, and welcome to some more AOR AC Season 2 highlights, this time for round 5 of the season at Nordschleife. And as you can see here, we are in qualifying right now, heading on to do our first and fastest lap of the session. And I tell you something, we did actually a rerun of the week before. We did actually do it last week, but unfortunately we had an issue with a disconnection in the lobby, which meant we had to start it all over again. And once again we actually had it again in qualifying, but we had to restart again actually in this qualifying session afterwards, the whole thing, and start from the beginning. But I'll just let you watch the lap. I'm not going to commentate over it, it's such a long lap, but it was a very good lap indeed. I was very happy with it. A bit of there's some improvements in there that I could have got, but overall very happy. So here we go guys, here's the lap, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in a bit. finishing off our lap here, and it's been a pretty good one. There was a few more improvements, probably a bit more time to get out of it. An easy 8:16 was on, but an 8:17. An 8:17.281, 18, retard. Anyway, that was pretty good. An 8:17. People were doing sort of 8:12s to 8:14s, and but I did it last week before the rerun. I did an 8:21, so I found 4 seconds in 1 week, which was a lot. Just by making some slight changes to the setup. I made actually one change, and it actually made quite a lot of difference for the whole circuit. Because with the circuit, it's such a long circuit that if you make one tweak, it affects the whole lap by a long way. So I was really happy with the tweak I made, just generally much more competitive this week, and that put me actually on pole position. People struggled to hook up their laps, so I meant that we put us on pole position, but we had a lobby mass disconnection completely, which meant that we actually had to do a rolling start in the end, as you can see right about now. It disconnects, and we had to restart the whole lobby, basically have a 5-minute qualifying session, put in the race fuel, and then skip to the next session, and we had to do a rolling start and all that procedure. So again, problems with perhaps the Nordschleife. We had it last week as well, as I said earlier, which is obviously terrible. It might be track related, I'm not entirely sure. It might be lobby host connection, I'm not entirely sure. But here we go, guys. This is the start of the race. We can go around about here. And here we go, we nail it, we get away nicely. But at this point, track grip was very limited because obviously we had no cars out there. In the previous session, we had cars out in qualifying, and but in this session we had no qualifying, no cars out at all, so no rubber was laid down. So our track surface grip was like 97% roughly, whereas in the session before it was at 100% going into the race. So this was a completely big shock to us, and I really struggled with this. You can see already I'm just struggling with understeer. Track grip was limited, understeer there, and it was a factor of just the high fuel load and just the track grip. There was nothing on the track. There's no rubber on the track because obviously we had to restart the whole thing, and no cars had been out completely in the session. So it was so hard in the initial phases, and it was a shock to everybody. Everyone was struggling with the track grip, and again, we learned from this because obviously it could happen again. But through here, I was taking it relatively cautiously. I was taking the wrong line there. I end up on the curb, and Shrek gets really close to us. And it is a lot of pressure leading the way at Nordschleife. But in some ways, it's good because you've got an open track. It feels like qualifying almost, because you pay attention more to the circuit than the car behind. So you're just focusing really much more on the circuit because obviously it's such a hard circuit and have to drive. Here, really hard. I went so wide, nearly onto the grass, and God, it just had no grip, and it was a shock to adapt to, and particularly in the slow speed corners, like it felt odd. It just felt really weird to drive, and everyone was struggling. You see, third place backwards has dropped back a lot, and here just understeer central. Breaking down to here was not too bad actually, but you just had to wait, and as the track grip wasn't there, it took a good couple of laps because obviously there's a lot of us out there to get the track rubbered in correctly. But yeah, it was really hard to adapt to it, and again, it's something that I learned in this race, that if it happens again, this is something we have to take in consideration, just to keep it more cautiously. But up here, understeer, just really circling, just trying to keep it on the back stuff. This corner, this double left-hander in second gear, and we're taking it okay, but it was just a bit of a struggle, and yeah, a little bit of oversteer on the exit there. But just keeping Shrek's keeping us, keeping right with us at this point, but he was also struggling as well. And as everyone was, it was just pretty hard to drive. Now heading into left-hander again, understeer, taking it so slowly, and now into this left-right, and this is where it all went wrong. Hit the curb there onto the grass, and bang, went on me. And I tried saving it, but it went. And at this section of the circuit, I had to just get out of the way. I couldn't stay in the middle of the circuit. I just got out of the way. I waited for my opportunity for everybody to go past, and that was really upsetting. It was a pain to get going again as well, but I managed to get going just about, because obviously it was a really tight section, but down to pretty much last place, I think 7th place in the end. So that was just annoying to lose the lead like that. I was in control, and unfortunately I lost the lead like that. And once again here, we ride the curb, and spat we go, off we go, and nothing we can do. Again, the curbs, with this limited track grip, the curbs on the circuit in general are horrid, and with the limited track grip again, it was just a pain, and just like how slowly we are going, it was a mess. So really frustrated with that. You can see the tyres are cold as well. there's not much grip on the circuit. But cutting later on, we're right behind Pathox once again. You can see people are struggling with somebody off already. Self PRT is gone, and we're right behind Pathox once again. But obviously with damage to the front end of the car, it was really hard to drive, a lot of understeer, and it was a bit of a pain in the arse really to drive around the circuit in this track grip. Here once again we spin. There you could take it normally in qualifying like that, can't do it here, and it just kicks you off, and front end damage even more than it was. So really annoyed with that, really annoyed. Towards the end of the lap we finished his first lap of the race, and again still behind Pathox. I really wanted to put him under pressure, because I knew that if we could put him under pressure then we could have a good chance of getting the top 5 in the race, and that was my main aim. Top 5 in the race was the main aim from this point onwards. The win wasn't all lost, but realistically it was, because people like Chirac, people like Franglish, the main top 4 in this race, as you can see, they're really good drivers, and they make mistakes, but they're very quick in their own right. So it was hard for me to think, oh yeah, top 4 was possible. Top 5 probably was. I could see 5th in front of us, but it was just a really annoying situation to be in. I could have controlled the race. I don't know if I probably wouldn't have been able to win. Realistically, I probably would have let track go, because I didn't think I had the pace really to be in that position. Good qualifying, we got a little bit lucky with it because of the disconnection we had. But right here, I was focusing on Pathox here. He's going wide here. I was putting him under pressure. This right-hander, I try and get a good run. He goes deep. I go on the inside, and he just kind of understeers into me and is unaware, and I'm there. And I had to back out. I had to back out completely, and that was annoying. Really annoying, actually. It just kind of seems he has. I don't know. It's interesting. It just kind of didn't seem me there. It didn't seem there completely. You could say I ran into him, but the line was mine. He should have. He kind of looked like he turned into my line on my screen slightly, but yeah, that was annoying. But I just again, it kind of was annoying because in the previous week, the actual official week, the official week of this race, I was actually behind him again, which is really annoying. But here we make a mistake again, onto the curb, lose it again, and the curbs are just lethal with the lack of track grip. It's just horrible to drive on. Annoying. Again, it's really annoying making these mistakes, and just frustrating, really. But I continued to push on later on in the race. I just continue to push on, and then once again this is a fantastic save. Look at this, onto the grass, just not even spinning really, just drifting onto the grass, and well held, I guess. Not too bad, to be honest. I'm pretty proud of that one. But cutting on later on to lap 5, nothing really happened. Everything sort of calmed down. The track grip kind of grew a little bit, as obviously we were all running around it, and we've caught up Pathox once again. Now I wanted to nail it. We had a good chance at lap 2. This time I felt with the track grip increasing, I couldn't afford to stay behind him. 5th place was, in my opinion, mine. I think I had the pace to be P5 at least. So I stuck behind him, and I wanted to put him under pressure. And here, this is really our main fight of the race. I'm going to leave it kind of just all in one run. I'm not going to cut anything. It's just going to be all run. It's going to be all one, just full on one take. I was putting under pressure, but you see Chirac is leading from Franglish, Seppel in P3, and everyone had damage pretty much. We all had problems in lap 1 and lap 2 with the grip. Obviously the grip wasn't there. It was all about who could keep it on tarmac, and obviously I couldn't keep it on tarmac at all. And that first lap, and I think that kind of robbed me of a good possibility of fighting for the top 3. I think I could have fought for the top 3 in this race realistically, but obviously with the amount of damage I had, it was a real pain. Just the amount of understeer I had. Obviously I've hit the wall 3 times in this race. It's just annoying, and it's about time that I just kind of get a little bit of just a clean run of things, because we've had collisions in every single race apart from Spa, and it's about time we actually have some luck, you know, just not some luck, but just some clean race. We haven't had a clean race this season yet, and I think if we have a clean race, I think we can hook up another podium, and I want to get back on the podium again at least one more time this season. I think that's what my aim is. Obviously I got one already, but I really want another podium this season. I think it is possible. I have got the speed in me, definitely. I feel I got the speed in me. Arguably, you got to look at races like Brands Hatch. There was a chance at Brands Hatch to get on the podium. Magello I bottled the start. Barcelona was a good chance to get a podium. I bottled it. So there's been 2 occasions this season where podium was in sight and I just couldn't utilise it, and I really want to make sure that we are able to hook up a podium again this season. I think we can definitely do it. We've got the speed, definitely, and throughout the season, it's just got better and better. I feel driving wise, this car is, when you get used to it, it's fantastic. I really enjoy driving this car a lot. But yeah, just coming back onto this battle now. Again, just keeping Pathos under pressure here. I love this section. This section is my favourite. I don't know what it is about it. It's so tight. I didn't like it initially, but actually it's really nice to drive. Really slow, but this corner here is fun. You can get on the power nice and early. It's really cool to drive. But just putting him under pressure. I knew if I could just put him under pressure, he'll make a mistake, and it did eventually happen. You'll see in a bit. Through this left-hander, 5th gear, keeping it nice and tight now, and then into this left-right, pretty tricky set of corners here. A little bit of understeer, but just following him through. He's holding me up a little bit. I just couldn't get on the power as much as I want to. Into this tight right-hander, really tricky this corner, odd corner. It's very strange. And now into this left-right. You think it's flat, but it's not. You know, a little bit of a lift, and then it's really bumpy. You can see how much it's bumping out. 4th gear through this double right-hander. Again, very tricky sets of corners. Into this right-left coming up. You've got a hairpin coming up. Very tricky. Slow in, fast out, pretty much. Then 2nd gear. And get a nice, decent line through there. Not too bad. And once again, just really putting him under pressure now. Heading into another difficult section of the circuit. Another left. I don't know the corner names, but he makes a mistake. He gets on the curb. He spits him out. I leave it in 3rd gear because I was like, shit. And I just didn't want to shift anymore because it kind of distracted me a little bit. But he managed to save it okay actually, and he's still behind me by a little bit. So we get into P5 where I believed I felt should have been, and continuing on now, and to do I think one of our best laps of the race. I think it's made 23.4, which is, you know, reasonable. But tyres at this point were starting to go off a little bit, and towards the end of lap 6 we actually do our personal best lap of the race. But again, the front end damage, the understeer was horrid. Again, 23, a lot more that time was in it for me, and I just couldn't pick it up. But yeah, we're bridging the gap to Pathos as well, getting really comfortable. I was trying to close in on Chaos Theory. He apparently had a spin in the last lap, in the 6th lap, so that's why I was catching up to him. And he started nailing it at the end of the race. He started nailing it, and he actually did a really quick lap at the end of the race. He actually did the fastest lap of the race at the end. So he was really determined not to let me get close to him. But I was pushing hard. I kind of didn't know he was on a fast lap, so I just kept pushing hard. And I really wanted to get that 4th, but because I had 4th in the previous 2 races, so I really wanted it. But yeah, the guy did drive really well in the last lap of the race. He drove supremely, and he was able to keep hold of P4, which was just a good drive from him, really, to keep hold of it. I couldn't really match his pace, but you can see now, into the last phase of the lap now, and they're just driving really well. The car felt really good to drive, just obviously the understeer wasn't helping. But into the last section here, really tricky at high speed, the right, left, really tricky. But here we come to the line, and I'll take it. You know, top 5 finish in the race. We actually win a cap as well for finishing the race, because actually Seppel is actually a merchandiser for Nordschleife, from Nordschleife circuit, so we get some nice merchandise from it. And I was really happy with the result. Here's some donuts. I thought I'd show off my donut skills here. And yeah, I was very happy with the result. Top 5. Again, I was a little bit disheartened from losing the pole and losing it, but in the end of the day, that's the way it is. I wasn't too disheartened because I actually survived the whole race, and it was really hot on this day when we did it. It was really hot. I think it was like 29 degrees in England, so pretty sweaty race from us, and I was happy to survive the race really and get through it, and happy with that job. You know, good points for the season. Going into the last sort of 3 rounds of the season. Here is your final classification. Shrek wins from Franglish, Seppel, Chaos Theory, myself, Pathox, Burnout, and Cell PRT. So happy with that result. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe for more wrestling content on the channel, and I'll see you very soon for some more AC Season 2 highlights. See you in a bit, boys.